Welcome to the Sports Card Talk Show. Sports Card Talk Show with Kevin Anderson and Lauren Walker, the Skol Brothers.
Welcome to episode 75 of the Sports Card Talk Show. We have Monday Mount Rushmore today. Who's going to join us today?
Justin at Duval Sportscards.
Awesome, man. Yeah, it's been looking forward to this one. Just started talking to him fairly recently. I think when you made your post and
Yeah. I mean, searching for Jacksonville Jaguar fans was a little tough. And then all of a sudden, Justin came on our radar, and he seems like the biggest star of the Jacksonville Jaguars, to tell you the truth.
yeah, I'm excited to talk to him, man.
Yeah, I am too.
Should we dial him up?
Yeah, let's do it. Ring-a-ling-ding-dong.
All right, we got Justin on the line with Duval Sports Cards. Thanks for joining us.
What do I do with my hands? I'm just kidding.
Right. Too funny. So, you're going to do the Mount Rushmore for the Jaguars, huh?
Yep.
Awesome.
Duval.
Yeah, dude, man. Whenever we've been searching for a Jacksonville Jaguar fan to represent the Jags for
A little bit now.
For a little bit now, and as soon as your name got posted, oh my goodness, the fans came out. You're definitely the rep for the Jaguars.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah. I mean, in fact, your search is, if you search Duval, you'll find more Jaguar fans. I promise.
Okay, we were just searching wrong.
There's more than me out there. I promise.
Cool, man. Well, should we jump right in, get started?
Yeah. I know we're going to do the Mount Rushmore and the honorable mentions.
Yep.
I'll start with the honorable mentions. We're going to go from the bottom up, like we discussed.
Sounds good.
Not to take anything away from, all the greats that played for us in the past, but the one modern player that I put as an honorable mention is Paul Boselli.
Yes.
Paz. That dude, his leadership, I mean, when we were in the 2017 AFC Championship run, we had a good defense. We were only second in sacks to, the Vikings. He was the one that held it down. He was the leader. He, kept Jalen Ramsey and all the kids, in check.
Yeah.
And you could definitely feel his absence when he left in 2018.
Yeah.
But over 100, tackles per season. I mean, he was, when we were at our worst, he was out there freaking playing hard, man.
Yeah.
And those guys, I appreciate them. He wasn't drafted by us. He was drafted by the Bills, but he's an honorable mention for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Paz, if you're watching this, you better like it. The next one, I went with Tony Brackens. Tony Brackens, he was a defensive end. He was picked in the second round or something like that. But he was an absolute beast. If you look at, his the 1999 AFC Championship run that we had, I think he made the All-Pro team or something like that, or he was a rookie. But he had 8, caused fumbles.
Oh yeah.
I mean, imagine that. 8 in an entire season.
Yeah.
He was wreaking havoc.
Absolutely.
On quarterbacks. He didn't have a very long career, so I kind of struggled with putting him on this list, but he was a good dude, and he was a monster for us.
That whenever I think about the Jacksonville Jaguars, the history of Tony Brackens is a guy that just kind of permeates in your brain as far as the Jacksonville Jaguars.
He was drafted, I think, the same year. It was Kevin Hardy. We were discussing Kevin Hardy. Yeah. Kevin Hardy was the number 2 pick in the first round that year. And they were both just absolute beasts for us. But
yeah,
were
they drafted in the same year?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I know. It's we didn't even know what we had. We were so new back then. We were just wow, we're in the NFL now. We're in the AFC Championship game. We're going to win a Super Bowl sometime soon.
Right.
Oh yeah, and then reality set in.
Who was your coach back then?
Coughlin.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like we get rid of Coughlin, then he goes and wins a couple Super Bowls, and then we bring him back, and then he turns back into Coughlin. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Coughlin's still stuck in the 90s, Coughlin.
Yes.
And that doesn't work in the 2020s.
Going into this last season or this season, Coughlin was preaching that we're going to, commit to the run, but you get rid of our fullback. Like,
Right.
what?
Yeah.
And one game that stands out to me is the Texans game. It was like the third game of the season for us.
Mm-hmm.
Leonard Fournette is on the goal line, cannot get into the end zone because they were running him in shotgun.
Yeah.
It was ugh.
Yeah.
Killed me, man. So, I don't know, man. He believed in the old way, but the fullback, you need a fullback.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it the old way.
Yep.
Throw a linebacker in there as a fullback at least.
Yeah.
Something.
We used to use Tyson Alualu sometimes as a fullback. So,
Yeah.
but the next guy on the list, and some will argue that he should be on Mount Rushmore, but I don't think he played for us long enough, and he was a number 2 at his position on our team, is Mr. Thunder of Thunder and Lightning, Keenan McCardell. Him and Jimmy Smith, I think they would go over 1,000 yards, both of them, like for an extended amount of seasons consecutively. It was crazy.
Yep.
And it was one of those things where, like, us Jaguar fans, we were just spoiled and we didn't know what we had. But if he would have played for us longer, I'm sure, he would be on Mount Rushmore with Jimmy Smith.
Right.
I mean, he is our wide receivers coach as of right now. So he came home.
There you go.
And I only did 4 of the honorable mentions because I didn't want to.
You only get 4, dude.
I got a list of like 15 honorable mentions.
Yeah, we better stick to 4.
I'm trying to think of like players that actually it was fun to watch and they made an impact.
Yep.
Like if you take them away, the team is worse off. Those kind of players.
There you go.
That brings me to my last honorable mention, Mr. Mark Brunell. Now, he was a good quarterback. He went to Pro Bowls and stuff like that. And I just got into a debate at the card show today because they were like, oh, Mark Brunell should be on the Mount Rushmore. I'm like, But he had Thunder and Lightning, Jimmy Smith and Keenan McCardell.
Yep.
He had Tony Boselli blocking for him. He had Fred Taylor in the backfield. Put Bortles in that position. Could he have, done what Mark Brunell, So there was, we're still debating that one, but on my list, I put him as, an honorable mention.
Oh, yeah.
But he was a good quarterback, our last really good one.
Yeah.
The last really good. That was your first really good one.
Yeah.
Last and first.
Well, no, we've had so many quarterbacks, man.
Yeah.
Just imagine being a Jags fan and having Bortles for 5 years. Just let that soak in.
How many years did you have Blaine Gabbert as your...
2.
Okay.
But have you ever seen a quarterback try to spike a ball and throw an interception?
Who is that?
It's like Mike Bortles.
Oh, God.
You were running a screen, and he was like, oh, he's covered, so I'm going to throw it away. He throws it down to the ground to spike it, and it hits the defender or the running back's shoe and bounces up.
Oh,
the
my
defender
goodness.
intercepts the ball. We're like, he's just an interception throwing the shoe. Golly.
Oh,
And
man.
I've got so many high-end Bortles cards that I'm like the super collector of Bortles.
Oh, that's
I'm
funny.
like,
Blake Bortles isn't going to be your face of the franchise, is he?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Oh, no. I mean, I appreciate him because if you look at it, he did take us to the 2017 AFC Championship.
He did.
Yep.
And, he had this stretch of games where he was just, playing lights out.
He was, at one point, a fantasy football stud.
Yeah, he had like that stretch from late November through December in the playoffs. He was just going off.
Yep.
You know, and then the New England referees happened.
Right.
I'll stop.
Oh, funny.
Oh, man. But the Mount Rushmore
Yes.
put a lot of thought into these guys. So the one that's controversial to a lot of longtime Jaguars fans, and he actually is on my Mount Rushmore, and actually my favorite Jaguar player ever, is Mr. Maurice JonesDrew.
Oh, wow.
Hercules. Pocket Hercules. You got to kind of put this into context. Like, I mean, it's very rare that you're going to see, like, Jaguar players, like, go to the Pro Bowl and stuff like that because, you know, we're a small market. You know, Maurice Jones-Drew, you put him on, like, the New York Giants, and he's like the next Saquon Barkley, in my opinion, or something like that. He gets the media attention.
Yeah.
But Maurice Jones-Drew, despite us sucking ass, I'm sorry for the language, he would always be out there playing his ass off, man. Running dudes over. I mean, taking kicks back. You know, and he played with a chip on his shoulder. He was like the most fun to watch. And I have pictures from Jags games where like they're all huddled up, and Maurice Jones-Drew like looks like he's half the size of his lineman. And just to think of that, you know, bowling ball just trucking linebackers and stuff. It was a fun experience to watch him. And he won the rushing title one year too.
Yep.
I think it was 2012. But he had 3 seasons where he was a starter in Jax before he had his like Liz Frank injury or something like that.
Yeah.
And he was just a complete beast. Fantasy football.
Oh yeah.
Number 1.
Yep.
I drafted him number 1 one year.
Yep.
But one cool like personal story about him, and then I'll move on, is that when my first daughter was born, Lily, I sent a picture of me holding her with my Jag shirt on. It was like a cheesy "We Are Jaguars" shirt that they gave out at one of the games.
Uh-huh.
I was like, I sent it. I tweeted him. I was like, "Hey man, I just wanted to, show you the newest Jaguar fan or something like that." You know, and he sent me a jersey.
Oh wow.
He sent me a jersey.
That's cool.
It was cool.
Yeah.
He didn't have to even respond.
No.
And that's why I was saying I've already messaged him on Instagram. I was like, hey, just so you know, I'm putting you on Jaguars Mount Rushmore. He hasn't read it yet, but I'm going to get him to like this video.
Oh, that'd be cool, man.
Dude, I'm actually a bit surprised because to me, Maurice Jones-Drew is the face of the franchise. So for him to be your first Mount Rushmore guy is...
Okay.
Because trust me, him being my favorite, I wanted to put him number 1. But if you think back to Mount Rushmore, we're not really putting them in the order of like greatness.
Sure,
yeah,
that's true. They're just up there.
So,
yep.
Yeah,
I reasoned with it.
Yeah, I just think of Maurice Jones-Drew as
the most notable one.
Yeah, as a just an NFL fan from afar away.
Yeah.
I look at Maurice Jones-Drew probably as fantasy football wise goes as like the greatest Jacksonville Jaguar of all time.
Yeah, and fantasy football that revolutionized the game in my opinion as far as interest in other teams.
Yeah.
Because you become invested and you want to know how they did. So
no matter how bad the team is, you want the best player on that bad team.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and we were a run first team.
Yep.
Yeah.
They would stack the box on Maurice Jones-Drew, and he still won the rushing title.
Yeah. He's just
a lot of fun to watch.
He's just a little freaking bowling ball, Maurice Jones-Drew.
And he still represents Jacksonville to this day. That's what I appreciate about him.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at some of his interviews that he's done, like on ESPN or I think it's NFL Network or something.
NFL Network.
Or even stuff that he writes. you know, he'll always, you know, show favor to the Jaguars.
That's
I
awesome.
love you, dude.
Yeah.
You know, man
Absolutely.
crush over here.
I think the guy is an absolute class act. I love the guy.
Yep.
He's freaking awesome. But I know I wanted to put him number one, but you know, they're all great on Mount Rushmore.
Oh,
right?
for sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah.
So the next person, and I almost flipped these two, but Fred Taylor.
Yep.
Fred Taylor doesn't get enough credit for what he was able to do in Jacksonville. And that's because, you know, there were other backs like Curtis Martin, LaDainian Tomlinson, that they were getting all the, you know, the accolades and stuff. But Fred Taylor, I think he's, 17th on the all-time rushing list? I mean, just to be on the all-time rushing list.
Yeah.
Freaking awesome.
Yep.
You know, and he was always a threat to go yard on you. Like, he could go 90 yards and just outrun everybody.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I think he did a 90-yard run against the Dolphins in the playoffs one year. It was freaking awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I was younger, but he was fun to watch. The only thing not cool about Fred Taylor, I probably shouldn't even bring this up. I'm an FSU fan. I was telling you earlier.
Yeah.
Is that he played for the Gators, so it's like,
You torn a little bit?
yeah, but I love the guy, man. He actually still lives in Florida, and he shows up for the games and stuff, and he represents Jacksonville.
Oh, that's cool,
He
man.
had to go on Mount Rushmore.
Yeah. I always like those stories when they're still a part of the community, and yeah, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, man.
Fred
He was on that.
Fred Taylor is definitely a Jacksonville great. And yeah, he's
Like, how do you? Can you say that he was better than Maurice JonesDrew? Maurice JonesDrew was better. It's like, how do you?
Yeah.
You know, because Fred Taylor has the better stats, but Maurice JonesDrew carried our team.
Yep.
You know, so it's like, so they both belong up there in my opinion.
Oh,
for sure.
yeah.
Not Brunel.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, man. And who else did I have? This one, I was torn about this one, but it's like he dominated for us. He was the best wide receiver one that we've had in team history. Probably one of the best we'll ever have. Jimmy Smith. I mean, 7 years in a row, I think it was, he went over 1,000 yards. We're talking, this is with, Brunel throwing him the ball, which is understandable. He had Byron Leftwich throwing him the ball for like 5 of those seasons. Byron Leftwich.
Right.
Let that soak in. So, in my opinion, he did kind of, he carried the team. He gave us he gave us a pass attack.
Yep.
Or whatever you call it. Something that defenses had to account for.
Yeah.
So they couldn't stack the box. If you look at the way defenses play us now, they stack the box because, we have some good receivers, but we don't have Jimmy Smith out there.
Right.
We have some people that may be able to develop into that.
Right.
But it's too early to tell.
Yep.
So Jimmy Smith, he's him and Keenan McCardo were Thunder and Lightning. Jimmy Smith was known as Lightning. The dude ran like a 4.3 or something like that.
Yep.
It was a beast.
Oh yeah.
Jimmy Smith, he definitely was the name that popped in my head as soon as I thought of the Jacksonville Jaguars. He is definitely should be on the Mount Rushmore. I'm so
You
glad
just like the nose candy a little bit too much towards the end there. And like a bunch of bad stories about that came out about him.
Oh yeah.
Which kind of sold it at the end.
Yep.
But you take all that out.
Yep.
Everything that he put on the field, man, it was special to watch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
And who knows? Maybe he might be in the Hall of Fame one day when I'm dead or something. But that brings us to the number one, and he has to be, number one on this list because for one, he was the number one, draft pick. He was the first pick in franchise history, for one.
Mm-hmm.
He was an absolute mauler, a beast. I don't know if y'all got to see Tony Boselli and what he did to Bruce Smith, but he didn't want to just defeat you and keep you away from his quarterback. He wanted to steal your soul.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, as a Jaguars fan or, any football fan, you're like, when you think, okay, are we going to win this game? Where are our weaknesses? it's so nice to be able to think, okay, well, the left side of the line, we're good.
Yeah.
And this was during a period where, there were a lot of good pass rushers, a lot of legendary pass rushers, and there were other, legendary offensive linemen, but arguably, he was the best at when he was playing.
I absolutely love it, man. I absolutely love it.
And he still lives in Jacksonville. And he does a talk show. He does a radio talk show. And, I just love his demeanor. Even till this day, he just still has that, cocky, Tony Boselli attitude. I love it.
Oh, nice.
I love it.
Doesn't he do NFL games, too?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so awesome. I absolutely love it that you left number 1 for Tony Boselli.
I mean, it's not sexy.
It's not at all, man. But Tony Boselli, man.
An offensive line. It's never going to be a sexy pick. But
how many Hall of Famers do the Jacksonville Jaguars have right now?
That was the final point I was going to make. Is that he's been in the final for the past 3 or 4 years, and they're thinking that he's going to be one of the candidates or the inductees this year.
When I asked that question, I honestly told you. I honestly thought you were going to tell me Tony Boselli's their only Hall of Famer. Yep,
him and Fred Taylor were actually on the ballot, but Fred Taylor,
Tony Boselli's a Hall of Famer, man.
What they say is that he didn't play long enough. I mean, he played technically 7 seasons. He technically played 7 seasons, but one of them was injured with Houston. So he never got to play down with them, which that would have been painful to watch.
Right.
Tony Boselli's a Hall of Famer, man.
Man. He went to the Pro Bowl. He was a first-time Pro Bowler. I'm sorry, All-Pro. First team All-Pro. I think 3 out of 6 seasons with us. And he made it to 5 Pro Bowls. I mean, the dude is a monster.
Yeah.
And although it wasn't a sexy first-ever franchise pick, I mean, we couldn't have done better.
No, right. You couldn't have. Tony Boselli to me, is a Hall of Famer. He totally deserves to be on your Mount Rushmore. I mean, he's one of the names that you pretty much named every Mount Rushmore player that I would have named.
There's one pair. You can't name one without the other. We used to call them the Twin Towers before 9/11 and all that stuff, and it was inappropriate. But Marcus Stroud and John Henderson. I was torn. I wanted to put them on honorable mentions, but I was like, I mean, can you really put them both? You can't add a 5th head to Mount Rushmore, so.
Sure.
But they were an absolute dominant pair,
Yeah.
They were DTs, right? They were defensive tackles, right?
Yep, they were defensive tackles. They pretty much eliminated the ability for teams to run up the middle on us.
Yeah.
During a running, type of NFL, run first NFL.
I almost feel like they were playing at the same time that the Williams Wall, Pat Williams, Kevin Williams for the Vikings.
Y'all had a special pair.
Yeah, you guys had a special pair too at the same time.
It's like y'all always one up us. Our 2017 team, they're like, it was a great defense, but we all know that the Vikings had better, stats for their defense. They were the number 1. We were the number 2 defense. So
we just had a cooler name, the Williams Wall, to the Stroud and Henderson Wall.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm telling you. Remember how I was telling you we do the Duval chant? We're like Duval.
Yep.
Before that, we had the sorriest chant ever. Every time there was a first down, people in the stadium would go, "Move those chains! Move those chains! Move those chains! Move!" And every time I'd be in the stadium and watching other team fans absorb that, I'm like, oh. I was like, I don't do it, man.
Right.
But Duval came, so we have our thing now. So
yeah, that's cool, man.
Maybe we'll have a pair of dominant defensive tackles, and we'll give them a better name.
There you go.
Instead of Twin Towers.
Right.
Because 9/11 happened.
Yeah.
So it was like, that's inappropriate now.
Right.
I I feel like a couple years, whenever the Jacksonville Jaguars were playing for the NFC or the AFC Championship, you guys were like all about your zip code. Whatever.
No, that's the county.
What's the zip code though?
904.
90. I feel like there was a big old
Oh yeah, they'll do it.
a build for that 914. Is that what you said?
904.
904. And
that was before Duval. Before like they were like, hey, we'll just chant Duval.
okay.
Instead of like trying to represent numbers, you know.
Right.
Well, as soon
904.
yeah. So as soon, but it's so crazy when we hooked up with you for the Mount Rushmore, we had no idea that your county was called Duval County.
Most people don't know that, and I look at it as an opportunity to explain it to other people and get to know them.
Yeah.
And geek out with them a little bit.
For sure, man. That was
oh,
go ahead.
Time, I don't know if I told you this earlier, but I actually had someone reach out to me when they watched the AFC Championship game, and all the fans were chanting Duval up in the Pittsburgh Stadium.
Yeah.
They're like, how did you get all those people to chant your Instagram username? I'm like, dude, all right, let's take a second. But yeah, it's our county, man, and
That's cool, man.
I was like, Kevin, everybody loves this guy. whenever you sent us that post, I was like, this guy is bigger than the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It's like, wow, he's got a good SEO marketing plan.
Right.
Or something.
Oh, that's funny.
I was actually my old job, the career that I left. I kind of touched on it earlier with y'all.
Yep.
One of my customers was the Jaguars. So I had another side plan. I was like, hey, if I can grow this market, I'm going to approach Shad Khan one day. And I'm going to be like, hey, you need to buy my company or something.
Right.
Duval Sportscards.
Yeah.
But we're an NFL city, and I'm trying to make these local guys realize that we're one of 32 fortunate cities to have an NFL team.
Yep.
Why not collect the cards too? If you get the goosebumps, when you watch your team win. Yep. Why not keep the season going in the off season? We do that by collecting cards and stuff like that.
Yep.
That's the actual slogan for my company is, Duval Sports Card, where the season never ends.
Yep.
Because collecting cards, you just get that feeling.
Yep.
It's, I don't know.
I'm
maybe not explaining it properly, but...
No, you are, totally.
The sentimental value, for all of you new collectors, if you're watching this, sentimental value has to be accounted for, not just eBay comps.
Dude, Justin, the Viking season ended last week, but it's the best time of the season because off season is the best time to collect your team's cards, man.
Oh yeah, and
it's the best time of the year to collect your team's your cards.
And every time I get Vikings cards now, I'm going to tag y'all on it first.
Oh hell yeah! You better.
Yeah, it's true collecting. It's like I don't want this just to get hoarded out on eBay. And go to some kid in China or something like that.
Right.
I want this to go to a true Minnesota Vikings fan.
Yeah.
So they can just look at it and geek out and get that feeling, that we used to get as kids opening packs.
Yep.
Totally. I'll tell you what, Justin. Once the Vikings win the Super Bowl, I'm tapping out. I'm saying goodbye.
You're just gonna say goodbye?
I will die happy, man.
Hell yeah. Well, hey, it can happen, man. It happened for the Eagles.
Yep.
Recently.
Yeah.
Yep.
Me and my brother, we had a pact. we made this like a decade ago. We're like, if the Jaguars ever make the Super Bowl, we're going to buy tickets. So 2017, up by like 11 points with like 6 minutes to go in the fourth.
All right, now I'm gonna have to learn how to edit.
We're gonna have to edit.
we're gonna bring episode 75.
Kevin's gonna have to bleep out that F word.
Yeah. All right, hold on 1 second. We'll bring the episode to a close, and we'll just talk for a quick second before we let you go. That'll bring episode 75 of the Monday Mount Rushmore to a close with Justin at Duval Sports Cards. Appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for having me, guys. It was a pleasure.
Skol Brothers out.